Hi Cancer, this is your forecast for the month of August 2018. This is a general reading for Cancer Sun, Cancer Rising, or Cancer Moon. For a more rounded overview, please watch your rising and moon sign as well. So Cancer, this first week you have a new beginning. In fact, you have two new beginnings because you have two aces. So something about your passions, your emotions, your enthusiasm, something is going on in that area that sparks a new chapter for you. So you may feel very enthusiastic this week about something, and maybe it's a new project, maybe it's, you feel very creatively inspired, maybe it's a new relationship. Maybe it's just you're very determined this week. You feel inspired to make a fresh start with regard to something. Some of you, maybe you're getting some spiritual insights, but you feel confident to move forward. You're acting with courage. So for some of you, this is a new beginning where you're planting some seeds and they're growing. Maybe you're meeting new people. Maybe you're involved in a relationship and that's somehow changing or evolving. Or you are trying to get some information. You're doing some very productive inquiries. You're seeking answers or solutions and they're coming to you. For some of you, this is a passionate union. You've got a lot of mojo this week, and you probably can count on at least one person in your mix being very attracted to you. You've got a lot of charisma right now. But this is fire energy, so whatever you're attracted to, you have to follow through. You have to have the impetus to move forward. Otherwise, this energy could very well fizzle out. But this is about passion, and not necessarily a deepening of the bond, but this is like living in the moment, feeling something and acting on the moment. Now, there are going to be some changes. They could come on suddenly for you, and they may change the course of your life depending on what occurs. If you've had some kind of setback or disappointment or upset, this may be followed by some kind of eureka moment where you gain clear understanding about your situation and you realize that maybe you're better off than you thought, or maybe you're better prepared to deal with the situation than you thought. So your desires, your ambitions, your inspirations are behind events. And again, there's some changes in the circumstances, in your self-awareness. Maybe you're going to change the way you relate to others. Maybe your social habits are changing, or maybe you are becoming closer to somebody. You feel more enthusiastic about moving forward. You open yourself up. You become more emotionally available. It could be that you've gotten some kind of financial boost. If you were struggling and now you've gotten this boost, it can make you excited about connecting with life again and connecting with other people. Or maybe, you were kind of down on your luck and you were focused on that, and now you've gotten this boost. Now you want to share that prosperity with other people, or it helps you to enhance the relationship that you already had. So this is a new beginning. You feel a sense of renewal. You are revitalized. For some of you, maybe you're trying to heal, or it may be important for you to change the way you look at life and have a positive mindset. This could be a week again of some very passionate and sexual attraction and chemistry with somebody. Now, negatively, maybe this is a superficial attraction. Maybe it doesn't have any real depth. It's lacking true intimacy. Or perhaps, you're not even turned on by somebody. The chemistry is off. Or there's something that you wanted and you didn't get that expectation fulfilled. So it resulted in a loss of passion, or you're disappointed or inhibited in some way. This could be a project that just didn't get off the ground, or something got a false start and then it stopped. So there's some delays that you're dealing with. And again, it could be a loss of energy, a loss of passion, your hopes not being realized, somebody not coming through on something, not fulfilling their promises. Maybe you're fresh out of ideas. You just don't know how to move forward. And so you feel as if something is futile. You feel powerless, and it's causing you to feel some pessimism. But in the positive, this is you raring to go, and how you feel could be very important about how things play out. Now, for some of you, your relationship is vulnerable. It could be that there's something going on, some external pressures that weigh in on your situation, or maybe you're having to deal with other people's problems. So for some of you, you are ready to go, and maybe you're going to surprise yourself. Maybe you're going to surprise somebody else, and you start a relationship, and you know that this relationship doesn't have a solid foundation. In fact, you know that ultimately it's probably doomed to fail in some way. Or you may suddenly decide to end a relationship, and you're surprised by the ending. Maybe you got caught up in the moment, you got angry, or you were in a mood, or the other person was, and suddenly, boom, the relationship is over. So both of you are surprised. It's a surprise ending. But positively, this is a new start where you feel confident and something is renewed for you. Now, the second week, there's some kind of confusion or uncertainty. You may be faced with lots of options. Maybe you're very attractive. Again, you've got that mojo. People are all around. They want to connect to you. So you've got options available to you. You can make a choice, but remember that everything that glitters is not gold. This is about really looking at what's in front of you and seeing it for its true merit rather than its shiny, appearance. So for some of you, there could be something that you feel enthusiastic about, or you feel very attracted to somebody and you are longing for this person. You're fantasizing. It could be, there's a project that you are enthused about and you're trying to envision what it would be, how to make it happen. For others of you, there's some uncertainty about how to create that fresh start. There's a sense of confusion, perhaps a lack of focus. There's some indecision or a difficult choice that you're facing. In fact, you can't even come up with any ideas because of your muddled thinking. You may be operating under some form of illusion. For some of you, maybe you're giving in to some kind of situation that is mind-altering, drugs, alcohol. But this is a week where, maybe you're enthusiastic about getting something going and you don't really have a plan or direction. And so you're scattering your energy in all kinds of directions. And obviously, that's going to be very disorganized. You're not going to get a lot accomplished. For some of you, maybe you're so passionate about something that your emotions are dominating your rational thought. And maybe you're being impractical or you're perceiving something erroneously. Could be you're overwhelmed by your circumstances. So there's something questionable about your circumstances this week. And, for some of you, maybe it's rainy. Maybe water is an issue. Maybe you're dealing with some kind of inclement weather. So maybe the rain has started again or something like that. But you are looking at your connections and you are trying to figure out a situation. And you're going to discover this week where you may have been off the mark, where you either over or underestimated something or someone, for better or for worse. So this is a week where you're going to have to reevaluate something, your relationship, your priorities, and see it in a better light for the truth of what it is. And this could also be a week where you are, walking a tightrope. One or two things could go off the rails, and then that throws everything off. Fortunately, you may be very enthusiastic, very motivated, and you're going to rearrange your schedule. You're going to prioritize, you're going to look at what's most important, and you're going to attack that accordingly. And if you do, you may be very surprised at how much progress you make and how much time you have left over to enjoy yourself. So this is you this week positively taking something that may have been a losing proposition and transforming it into something winning. And for some of you, this is a focus. You're very passionate about something. It could be something connected to the arts or something creative. If you're a creative person, you could be raring to go. You're getting all of this divine inspiration. All of these ideas are coming to you. You want to manifest something. You can visualize it. It could be a painting, a piece of writing, a work of art, something, and you are visualizing how you want to make that happen. For some of you, you're getting some psychic impressions. You're connecting to divine source. This is a week where also you may be very focused on excuse me, luxury items or goods. So there is an appreciation. Maybe you're hoping to get some appreciation, or you have a true appreciation for the beauty of a situation or a person, a luxury item. The focus is on gratification. Some of you will seek that gratification through some form of escapism. Again, drugs, alcohol. Your dreams could be very important. Pay attention to those this week. But you want to enjoy life. You want to feel a sense of abundance. But again, you may be holding on to something that doesn't have true value. You're having to sort that out. Now, some of you, you're involved in some kind of enterprise, and maybe maybe you can't deliver. Something is not delivered and there's some confusion. You may end up having to make an apology or an excuse, or maybe you have to stand in for somebody. Maybe, you have to pick up the slack for somebody. Maybe you're feeling under the weather, or somebody connected to you is, and it causes you to have to take on extra responsibility. For others of you, this is a week where you're good at creating the illusions. You're trying to make things appear a particular way. You're weaving a beautiful story, and that's really not the truth of a situation. So this is a week to get clear. If you're in denial about something and you're putting things off, you don't want to confront them, you feel overwhelmed by your emotions, you're disorganized, it's going to be hard for you to get things in order that will give you the time to enjoy life the way you want to. Because this is a card about, you have to stay on top of things. Otherwise, you're always going to feel as if you're falling short, whether that is, not being able to finish up your work, or, not having enough money. This is specifically because you've just got your hands in too many pots. You're putting your energy, your direction, your focus into too many places. Whereas if you had stood back and organized and planned and dealt with situations more realistically, you could have made more progress. Now, the third week you have a major card. In fact, the second half of the month you have major, so the second half of the month holds special significance for you. It's important. This could be a week that focuses on perhaps a young woman in your life. It could be a female child. Maybe you're involved with some kind of healing agency that may be connected to drugs or some illness that you're suffering from. But this is a week where you also have protection. The angels are watching over you. You're being guided by the stars. You're getting some divine guidance. But positively, this is a week of hope where you can feel inspired. There's some luck on the horizon. You can feel optimistic. It's about getting some trust and getting some guidance where you may be insecure or uncertain about a situation. You may be connecting with somebody who offers you some guidance. So you feel a sense of renewal. You want to rejuvenate yourself this week, whether it's physically or emotionally or through your divine inspiration. So this week focuses on being protected and restoring your faith in a situation. It could also mean that you're going to have to give of yourself. You're going to have compassion, be selfless. And you're going to get some illumination. The stars are shining for you. Now, you may be in focus. Perhaps you are a star this week. For some of you, your creativity puts you in the spotlight. Maybe you are connecting with somebody. For some of you, last week, Seven of Cups could have represented something ephemeral, something that is here and gone in a moment, like Snapchat, or something on the internet, or something to dealing with film. So for some of you, maybe somebody is a film star, or they're a star on social media. Maybe you're in the spotlight, or you're connecting with somebody once again over social media. So this is about renewal, replenishing. And for some of you, if you're creative, your special talent is in focus this week. You are very creative and you're getting some inner guidance on how to create. So this is a week about, if you were confused last week, you didn't have a plan. This week is about having a sense of direction. And maybe you expand knowledge-wise regarding that. Maybe you're into the occult, or you're studying astrology or the metaphysical. This is also a focus on the future and how to move forward. You may be getting help to further your interest or move forward in some way. It could be help from divine or aid from various sources. It could be, getting some kind of education or some kind of truth that is being revealed. You may be discovering some secrets this week. Something that was confusing to you may become clear this week. You're trying to solve a mystery or an enigma of some sort. This could also be a week where you are feeling very vulnerable, very exposed, very open. You may be comfortable with that. You may feel like it's possible to show your truest self. For some of you, this relates to perhaps a sexual connection with someone. But this is a week that focuses on your faith in the future, faith in good fortune, your hopes and dreams, and something may give you a boost this week. You could have some kind of gift or opportunity that allows you to exceed what you originally expected. But in other cases, this is a need for you to take some kind of action. So there is change on the horizon. You feel it. You may not know exactly what it is, what it's going to look like, where it's going to come from, but you feel that something is going to rejuvenate your life somehow. You're operating on hope and faith this week, and that may be given circumstances or something uncertain. That may be all you have that motivates you. And so there's a personal transformation awaiting you. Maybe you're very intuitive this week. Likely you are. Again, your dreams could be important, and you're very strongly intuitive as far as other people. So this week, get in touch with your inner self, deal with your emotions, your intuition, so that it can guide you. Maybe there's some kind of troubling circumstance that you're dealing with, and now you're having to face some kind of truth. And maybe it seems, larger than you, and your faith is required. So this could be a gateway for you, some opportunity where you are allowed to rise up and achieve your personal best, whatever that is. Now, you may be tested this week also. Your faith is going to be challenged. This is you trying to understand the positive lessons behind a situation that may have been negative or troubling. You're having to look at what is possible for you. And perhaps you're realizing that what you thought was a healthy challenge is actually a no-win situation. The sooner you can discern what is feasible versus what is the fantastical, your path is going to open up and things are going to flow a lot smoother. Now, this is a week where your emotions are rampant. So you have to make sure that you're really in touch with intuition and not letting your emotions overwhelm you so that you misinterpret or misjudge a situation. So again, the bottom line this week is a spiritual week with some lessons in store for you. Your faith is critical, whether in yourself, other people, or a belief that you've had. That's going to be challenged. The week asks you to open up to new possibilities, to think differently. And because of that, your faith will be rewarded. Although this is a week where, again, you're not in charge. And so things are going to unfold out in the time and the manner that may be very different than what you expect. Now, the last week you have a major card, the Strength card. So for some of you, there's a focus on a Leo person. Also last week could have had a connection to an Aquarius. So this is a week where you're looking at your strength, whether it is the strength of your creativity, your passion, your health, your confidence in yourself. There could be a focus on, getting fit and healthy. Maybe some of you are connected to animals, or some of you may be dealing with healers. Some of you may be involved in some form of negotiation or arbitration, but you are coming to terms with something, your ego, your libido, your shadow self. You're trying to override the lesser aspects of yourself or a situation. And you may want to use your persuasion this week to gently influence and motivate others. There could be a focus on the strength of the strength of assistance, healing, connecting to healing agencies in order to gain strength, getting some advice on something that's been confusing. Some of you may be connecting to people who work in the metaphysical field. Maybe you're working as a healer. So this is about, using the best traits of the sign of Leo. This is being loyal, being a leader, being steadfast, being devoted, having some moral conviction and acting on that. So this is a week where you may have to use your patience and your wisdom and assert yourself in positive ways. This is your ability to overcome some problems, perhaps some problems that were overwhelming you emotionally, or where there was some confusion, or where, you hadn't really focused on organizing your efforts in some way. This is a week about having faith in your own ability. It's relying on yourself and empowering yourself in some way, and having to call on your strength of endurance to move forward. For some of you, you may be reconciling with others. You may have to use your skills of diplomacy in order to move forward. You may be seeking or offering protection in some way. So this week is about you focusing on your strength and your vitality. You could get something illuminating that comes to you, again, through the advice of someone or divine inspiration. You may be giving advice, getting it. Maybe you're solving a problem. This is a week where you're using your strength to initiate something, your willpower, your ambitions. You may be taking on a leadership role. So naturally, it's going to be important for you to overcome any confusion or self-doubt that you have. Because if not, you may create problems for yourself. If you feel uncertain, you may start to lash out in your frustration. You may be angry about something. But this is a time to take a time out, to get right with you so that you can reaffirm your goals, your peace of mind. Because it's important that you're aware of the link between your mental state and your physical health. That may be impacting you negatively if you're letting your emotions overwhelm you. There could be some things that are not in your control, and you're going to have to come to terms with that and release it. And maybe you have to start over, and you find that to be a daunting proposition. But that may be easier than you trying to press forward on a no-win situation. So again, your faith is going to be rewarded if you believe in yourself, if you're giving it your best, your all, you're relying on that strong intuition that you have this month. This is a week to step back from situations that may be overwhelming you. And maybe you have some time to relax if you get organized. This is about, focusing on rejuvenation, whether that's some kind of physical outlet or going into relaxation mode, so that those answers and divine inspiration or creativity can come to you. For some of you, there's a focus again on an animal or a child or a romance or a strong tie to a Leo person. Now, you can get yourself into a bit of trouble this week if you operate in fear, if you make decisions because you're afraid of the ramifications if you don't go along with a certain program. Maybe you feel somebody's going to strike back at you, or you feel you're going to be rejected, or you're going to fail, or you're going to end up by yourself. And so because of that, you start to make decisions that you know are not good for you. You start to settle for things that are less than what you actually deserve. So this is also a week to rein in that ego, to not let that overcome you either. Maybe you're going to try to blame other people for your circumstances, or maybe, you're using the star and you're closing yourself off. You're deceiving yourself. You're putting on rose-colored glasses, or you're closing yourself off to the truth or the facts. You only hear what you want to. And you're stuck on the past. Now, the star card is about the future, facing the future, looking forward to it, embracing it in spite of whatever has happened. But you can get stuck in the strength card by focusing on the past and everything that went wrong. So this is about having the courage to move forward. Now, the underlying energy is this Ace of Cups. So this is an emotional new beginning for you. Again, this could involve a romantic situation, a lover, or it could be, having greater compassion in a situation, or some of you may become more psychic or more creative. Negatively, you may feel pessimistic because you've been rejected, or you're grieving over something, or you can't keep a positive mindset. So this is a month to, work with your emotions, make them work for you so that you can become more productive. In fact, this could be a month where you start to feel grateful or relieved or thankful because there's a new turn of events. So your intuition is strong, you feel passion, you feel love, you're connecting to divine source. Maybe you have a recognition of the mind, body, spirit connection. You have a sense of abundance, either financially or through your relationships, through a project. A number of good things for you where you feel emotionally renewed. Maybe you're reviving a relationship, or you get that gift or that opportunity or some new love, or something wakes up your passion with another person. And because you're feeling so much, your cup is running over. You will not be able to keep your feelings to yourself. So for some of you, you're either going to give or receive something emotional, a declaration, a proposal. Maybe you're renewing your vows, or you're surprising somebody with a gift or a gesture. Or maybe you're on the receiving end. Maybe you're going to be a victim of love at first sight. You're overwhelmed in a romance. So this could be a great month for happiness for you, where you're starting a relationship or you're moving in a new direction. Something is consuming you, some passion that makes you feel good, that stirs your heart, that revives you in some way. For some of you, you're going to feel very exhilarated. Maybe you're sharing your feelings and you feel free to do that. Maybe you feel like, possibilities have opened up for you, and maybe you're breaking out of a rut or a routine. In some cases, though, of course, you're dominated by a situation where you need to let go. You need to move on. Maybe you have some moodiness, or you're afraid of love, or you don't initiate the relationship that you want, or you need to take a new direction and you don't go there, or maybe you move too fast in a situation and now you're overwhelmed. So some of you are dealing with issues where you've been rejected, or you have a broken heart, or somebody's just playing with emotions, or you feel lonely, or something has ended, or you don't have emotional fulfillment. So it could be that as a result, you end up angry and frustrated with that strength card. You end up in an argument or some kind of dispute, and you feel overwhelmed. It could be that you are compelled to do something and you risk making things worse, or you add additional trouble by trying to force things to go your way. So you may be too emotional to see something clearly. Now, this is going to be a month that focuses on your emotions. And it's likely that there's going to be some drama, some form of intrigue. You're going to be conflicted with your head and your heart. And it has to do with your independence, your freedom, your future, your destiny. You have two major cards, the Star and the Strength. So, your hopes, the strength of your hopes and dreams, the strength of your faith, your physical strength, the strength of assistance. And it also centers on your partnership. Some confusion, perhaps, about how you feel or being overwhelmed with your feelings. There is no real stability in this reading, though. And either something is not built on a solid foundation, or perhaps things are still being worked out. It hasn't really taken form yet. And maybe, even though you're compelled to share your feelings, there's some kind of communication problem, some kind of issue. And, maybe somebody's being illogical or irrational in a situation. It's also important that you pay attention to details. Something about your circumstances means that timing is critical. And it's almost as if you are just about to wrap something up and then you have to go over old ground. You have a 9, a 7, and then you move forward again. So this is a situation, whatever it is you're dealing with, it's not going to resolve on its own. And it could be that somebody knows what they should be doing, but instead they're indulging themselves rather than trying to sort things out. Maybe somebody's overwhelmed. They just don't really know where to begin. Now, despite things going wrong, you're still going to maintain this realistic, level-headed approach. Your willpower is going to push this situation forward, and the opportunity and the environment is right for you to exploit it. The current circumstances are at their best. So for some of you, you're also going to be finding yourself in people-pleasing mode, and that's going to make it very difficult for you to be yourself. All right, Cancer, I hope you enjoyed this reading. Don't forget to subscribe. I'd love for you to join me on Patreon to receive some extras, or at my blog for a daily post, or you can join me on Instagram. And of course, you can always book a personal reading at thealchemistastrologer.com.